Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. July 21, 2019, the Sunday Book Review edition of the Daily Compliance News. Today we honor Andrea Camilleri, who is the author of the Inspector Montalbano novels, who died this week at age 93. And I'm going to go over my four favorite Montalbano novels. The first, of course, was the first book, the 2002 translation of The Shape of Water. They are infinite number of interpretations applicable to the death of an establishment figure whose scandalous demise is connected to a spider's web of political intrigue. The inspector himself is highly regarded both within and without the police force and is often recognized on the street. He dreads and ducks promotions for mere breaking up his perfect detective squad, who nonetheless incessantly squabble. He is the lover of poetic language, from Plutarch to Dylan Thomas, and he has a long-suffering girlfriend, Livia, who he forgets to call for days at a time. In the second novel, Terra-Cotta Dog, we learn that he suffers, or benefits rather, from synesthesia. This, for Montalbano, emotion has an aroma, which in turn has a color. Fear has its own smell, sour and yellow-green. In the Terra-Cotta Dog, there are two corpses uncovered which have been hidden in a cave since World War II and are linked to present-day black market arms dealers. The next one is The Snack Thief. And in this, he is in love with his long-suffering girlfriend, but during an investigation, he literally forgets to call her for days at a time. Livia's immediate rapport with the main character of A Snack Thief, a maybe orphaned youngster whose plight is bound up with a murder victim, brings out her maternal instincts as well as her bitterness at the then 45-year-old inspector's reluctance to marry her and let alone be a parent. And finally is The Snack Thief is continued in The Voice of the Violin, a puzzler in which the curious inspector, breaking into a newly built but deserted house, finds the nude body of a suffocated woman whose clothes and handbags have been stolen. We must now establish, says one of the inspector's civilian confidants, whether we are dealing with a thief who became a murderer out of necessity or a murderer who is pretending to be a thief. There are several more conundrums to come. And now a few words about the author, Andrea Camilleri. The first thing to note is the age when he wrote his first novel. And for anyone who's a frustrating novelist, it doesn't get much better than this, because the book was published when he was 69. And it was published in 1994 in Italy and didn't make it to the United States for another 8 years. But it sold enough to warrant a sequel, which of course was the Terra-Cotta Dog that I previously mentioned. So it really shows you what you can do if you want to do something. If you want to sit down and write out a detective novel, we'll sit down and write out a detective novel. It really doesn't matter where you live. You have great character and great scenes, great content. People are going to love it. So check out the Inspector Montalbano novels. Proud to announce that my latest podcast on the Compliance Podcast Network, Creativity and Compliance, went live today. In this with co-host Ronnie Feldman, well known for his learning and entertainment website. He and I are going to take a look at creativity, compliance, and all of those intersections and how you can use that in your compliance program going forward. It's going to be a fascinating podcast. Ronnie's a great guy. If you've been at any compliance conferences, I'm sure you've met up with him, and I'm really looking forward to see where we can take it. Finally, on Monday, July 22nd, please join me with Affiliated Monitors as we host a cocktail event around the new FCPA guidance. If you want to attend, you can email me. It's at no charge. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio.